Let's fucking go, baby. Is this thing on? Let's go. We back at it again, baby. Let's go. Getting right to the action, man. Listen, what we're gonna start doing is I'm gonna go over everything that I'm doing on a daily basis, man. I'm gonna put it all out there. I'm gonna show you all my results, and I'm pretty much gonna show you what's possible because I went from a consistent loser, unprofitable, gambling, revenge trading, to becoming consistently profitable, to seeing how you can fall back from being consistently profitable and going back into bad habits, to now, as I've adjusted my strategy and really started to hone in on trader psychology, I'm starting to experience even more profitability and consistency than before. Um, and guys, I've really just boiled it down to everything that you're ever told in trading. You know, following the process, having a repeatable system, blah 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 blah. I'm starting to finally do it, and I can see the power in it. And guys, I'm just gonna show you, and I hope, I don't want to talk too much. I kind of just want to like show my trades, show what I'm doing, and then over these days, you can kind of see like how I'm repeating the same things and how I'm getting the results. So guys, I'm just gonna pull up my my week so far. So sitting at about 200 bucks. All this stuff is going to be relative to my account size. My accuracy is pretty good. I mean, 62% is on the high side. So no doubt that this week is going pretty good. But let's just dive into today. 60% accuracy on the day. Had a couple losses. Pretty decent little loss here, but as you can see, I ended up having more winners. And guys, I'm just trading the same way. And let's get right to it. I do want to play this recording. This was one trade from yesterday that I didn't get to go over, but you're gonna see as I start showing you these trades, guys. I am trading these the exact same way. I'm looking for the exact same thing, and it makes it so that all of my trades are as consistent and as similar as possible. In what I look for and also how I execute them, and that is how you build consistent results. Is you follow a structure, a process, and you'll see I'm trading the same stocks that I used to. And if you go back in time, and if I go back in time and look at like the trades that I was taking, I'm taking the same trades, but I've refined them, and I've built this process in this structure around them, and I'm really seeing like, oh, this is where I can really have my edge. And I've learned that my edge is on the first proper 5-minute pullback on these plays. Let's just get to it. So as you can see, we had a stock that started getting some volume. This one did have news, and look, we're starting to get that it didn't make a huge move yet. That's important too, because you don't want to see this thing just rip away. You want to see it make a push, catch some volume, and then start to give a nice pullback, and then your probability for it to make a move higher is much higher than as opposed to if it makes like this massive bull run and then it's starting to pull back, and then it's just not a great way. But this makes a lot of sense to me. So as you can see, once I see that we're starting to pull back on the 5-minute right here, guys, I'm getting ready. I'm not too inclined to like take a position off of VWAP as much. Like I said, I really want to see how this tests the 5-minute 8 or the 1-minute 20. If it holds the 1-minute 20, which sometimes, most of the time, is about the 5-minute 8 here, sometimes it won't pull all the way back, and that's fine. A lot of the times, especially if it's the first proper pullback, it might pull back to the 1-minute 20, which is a bigger support level than, typically the 1-minute 8 EMA or the VWAP right here. It's a high probability that this is going to make a good pullback to this support. And look at this. So we're getting that dip. I'm being patient because we're still pulling back. I don't want to get in too early. I need confirmation that that price is holding and starting to reverse off this level. So I used to guess, but I don't guess anymore. I don't just buy when it taps here. I'm waiting. You can see that I'm waiting. And look at this. We're testing the 5-minute 8 around this area. We also have this this previous resistance that's acting like support right here. And watch this. As we start to reverse price off this level, I'm waiting. most of the time I want to see like the first 1 minute candle to make a new high, and I think that's a better way to like keep your trades consistent. But sometimes, you know, if I see it really starting to pull away right here, I'll just go ahead and stab an entry. See right here, like you can see that buyers are starting to step up. We can see buyers coming in on the tape. And it's putting in a nice wick right here. Now I took my position and I'm risking the low of this pullback. It's very easy to risk off of. It's very clearly defined. And again, I can repeat this process on most of the trades that I take. And I can also put some decent size on this, you know. So again, like I'm risking about, you know, I try to keep my max loss around $50. So, you know, so I can take some pretty decent size, and I have a very clear risk. And the reason that this risk is clear is because you can see that buyers are stepping up at this level, which at least in the short term, it's acting like support. So ultimately, you know, we want to see this level hold, price start to reverse and push for new highs. And again, I'm going to have very simple targets. So a lot of these sometimes are intuition, but look at this. We're getting a nice push right here. I'm kind of looking for this 380s level as my first target, which is about the VWAP right here. A nice place to take some off the table, and ultimately I want to see it make new highs. I won't let it play out the whole time. We'll just kind of fast forward. And you can see right here, so I'm getting into defense mode right here because if price wants to break here, guys, I'm just going to take the loss. If price breaks this level, there's a strong possibility that he will either continue lower and find support, wherever it's going to find support. But guys, again, if it breaks this level, I'm out. And you can see I was in defense mode here, getting ready to cut the trade if it went against me. But look at that, boom. This held up, and buyer stepped up right here. I'm waiting to take some off the table. Took some off the table right now as I came into my first target. Holding half. Look at this. We're getting another push. And now I see like my other target is this first 5-minute candle to make a new high. I think I took some more. I'm taking some more off the table here because we're getting a nice push. Coming up into this area can be some resistance. And obviously you have a bunch of these wicks up here. So we're coming up. Look, I mean, look how far away it is from my average. I'm up about 30 cents a share, going on 40 cents a share up here. Guys, I'm taking profits up here, man. Obviously I'm looking for these targets, but, you know, this is a pretty good trade so far. As you can see, we're getting another push right here. Scaling a little bit out. I think I held a little bit more here. I might have had to cut some. Yeah, I had to cut the another little bit. I just cut the rest off when it was kind of failing because I ultimately want to see this breakout. And if we start to come back down, it might just fail. But that was that trade from yesterday. So I'm going to pull up my ones from today. 722. Some really good trades today, man. I got to kind of really get into them here because I'm running out of time. Look at this GVH, this Stockhead News, getting a nice push. Look at this first 5-minute pullback right here. I'm waiting. Let's see when I take an entry here. Okay, watch this. So in here we got a double whammy. We got the VWAP and we got the 1-minute 20, which is kind of like double support. This one I traded it a little bit differently. Once I seen this 1-minute candle to make a new high right here, boom, off the look at that, man. That was a really good entry. Honestly, that should be the standard of how I enter them. Look at this. So we're coming down. We tested the 1-minute 20. We got a little wick forming right here. As soon as that 1-minute candle makes a new high right here, boom, entry. Now I can risk the low of this pullback. This is the first 5-minute pullback. Again, it made a move, kind of holding the freaking 1-minute 8 right here. That first 5-minute pullback, look at that. We're already getting a nice move. Instant resolution. This is about timing too. So I don't want to like, you know, buy and then just sit in this thing all day. Like I want to buy when buyers are going to step up. I want to see a pretty quick move. Let's just kind of go back again. Looking for that first 1-minute candle to make a new high. Boom. I'm in. I can risk the low of this pullback. See what happens here. Again, if it breaks this low right here, I'll cut the trade. And I might even look for a re-entry. If we break this and then we come in like really tap the 5-minute 8 and it holds again and it kind of does the same thing, I can look for another entry. But let's see. I think I looked for yep, I put this first level right here. Look at that. I already took half off the table. Another good trade so far. I think this one might have actually broke out for new highs or got pretty close to it. Scaling some more here. But again, guys, look at this. First 5-minute pullback, grab that entry, boom. Push this for new highs. Trading the same thing over and over and over again. This one kind of consolidated for a little longer. It did give us new highs right there. Look at that. It hit the last target. I think I got a little bit more off right up there, but I'm mainly just trying to show you guys like how I'm entering these things, because the entry and the execution is usually the most important part. BOF. Okay, so this is actually a loss right here. I actually lost on this one. I missed like this first dip right here, which would have been a pretty good trade, but I didn't think I was too late because you kind of have this tap here. It tapped here again, so it hasn't really broken out of this trend line right here, which is what you'll typically see when it does finally make that push for new highs. So I was kind of looking like, I think I actually took a starter here. I took a small starter and I ended up cutting it. Yeah. So I was looking for this level to hold because it kind of opened, got some volume, pulled back. It made another push. It pulled back again. That's a nice little risk off right here, but I missed that entry. So once it pushed and it failed to break out right here and it's pulling back again, I kind of grabbed an entry and tried to risk off right here, which is a little bit different than how I traded the other ones, just because like I missed this first dip and this probably would have been where I had like the most edge right here. But I want to show you like where I really took a pretty decent position in it. Was once we tapped the 5-minute 8 right here. I was looking for this to like put in a wick off the 5-minute 8. And kind of start reversing from here, and then we can look for this target right here and this target right here. I got a pretty decent sized position right here. I kind of loaded the boat on this because look, like I was willing to just risk, you know, like my $50 per trade right here. I was kind of giving it a chance to hold up at this area. You know, I didn't want to like get chopped out of it. As you can see, some buyers started to step up here, and I'm looking for that that first 1-minute candle to make a new high after we just tapped the 5-minute 8, which is about right here. I added some more. Now I definitely know where my risk off is at this at the low of this pullback right here. And guys, yeah, I had a pretty decent position in this thing, man. 14, wow. But still, it was pretty much within my risk still. I had such a close entry like to my risk off that I was able to take a little bit more size. I mean, 400, guys, this was a loss, but if this thing would have went, man, I would have got paid on this. I would have got paid on this trade. But you know, I felt a little emotional on this one just because it was a little bit risky, but this one did have news. And that's why I took this trade, because it did have breaking news. Like, it's only up 20%. Like, it hasn't made a big move. And I had clear targets to test right here, that 380, and then for new highs. Like, if this thing, you know, I've seen this go before. But I was in defense mode right here. I'm like, listen, man, all I have to do is just cut this loss. If it goes against me, you know, I am in a pretty heavy position, and I was confident in it. But I was just telling myself to keep disciplined right here. And look at it. It tried to start going right here. I was up a pretty decent amount on it at one point, but again, I wasn't trying to trade the P&L. I was trying to trade the chart right here and look for this target. But ultimately, we started to fail. And once we started coming back down, I got out of it right there. Let me see. Yep. Once we started to come back down here, I chopped it. I didn't chop it yet. Here we go. Look at this one. I'm telling you, you gotta be disciplined, man. When this thing's going against you and you had a plan and you said you're gonna risk off this, you just gotta cut that. You gotta cut it. Here we go. That new 5-minute candle opens and starts to break down. I cut it instantly. Just take my loss. I'm running out of time here, but I'll have to roll this one into the next one. But look at this real quick. I got like 30 seconds. This was a perfect entry. First 5-minute pullback. This thing had breaking news. Let me see if I could squeeze it in. You can kind of see it right there. Look at that. We're looking for that first 5-minute candle to make a new high. I'm sorry, first 1-minute candle to make a new high. Same thing, man. Boom, right there. Slapped an entry. First 1-minute candle to make a new high. Boom. Slapped an entry. Look at this bad boy. Put Pushed all the way up to highs. That's it. That's all I got, man. I'm running out of time, but I'll be back tomorrow. Peace.